Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021, the album, Dad. F. Hey little thing, let me light your candle, cause I'm a who? Rock on, gold dust, it's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel red, red wine. So many of you yesterday were so excited that I sang Red, Red Wine that I had to include it in my Saturday Mega Mix. How are you guys doing today? Oh my God, such a beautiful day outside. Okay, we have two things we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about James Charles, and then we're gonna also talk about Gabby Hanna. The wind is blowing outside. It's a very fall evening. I went and did a review today at this new place in Indianapolis. Well, it's been open for about a year, but I haven't been there, so it's new to me. And it's called Donuts and Dragons. And I showed the inside of the restaurant and everything. It's a very cool concept. So go over to my review. You can play games in there and all kinds of stuff. So go over and check out my review channel today where I reviewed that. And this contains donuts. Not dragons, donuts. I'll see if there's dragons in here as well. Oh, my Lord. Anyway, I have an announcement to make. I'm very excited about this. Now, I said that there was some exciting news coming about our podcast. So I'm kind of like shaking a little bit, sharing this information. I am finally able to share the name of our podcast. And this is a name that my good Judy Melissa and I came up with together. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, before I get into the drama, I want to share this. My good Judy Melissa and I, not Mel and I run a true crime book club together, but my good Judy Melissa and I, we share a love of scary movies, of horror movies. And she is obsessed with the Halloween franchise, and I grew up being obsessed with the Halloween franchise. So Melissa and I were talking because I really wanted to start a podcast, and she really wanted to do something creative and fun, and so I said, why don't we do a podcast talking about horror movies? And she was like, I think that's fantastic. So we have a very cool idea set down. We have little fun things that we're gonna do. Every week is gonna be a different movie that we're gonna do. And we're gonna talk about the big franchises, the smaller independent films, maybe interview some cast members of movies. We're really, really excited about this. So, are you ready for the name? I will link all the information below, but you can go find it on all socials. And we now have a Twitter account and an Instagram, a Facebook, all of it, okay? So, and the name, are you ready, is the Boogeman Besties. Okay, and let me tell you how this name came up, right? Because I wanted something that was like different just to us, which I know you guys are like, yeah, that's not really that unique. But it kind of is, because Melissa goes to many, many horror movie conventions and stuff. And anytime Jamie Lee Curtis speaks or is like a guest, she takes that opportunity to go because she loves Jamie Lee Curtis so much. And I do as well. So, Melissa has all of the Halloween posters signed and stuff. And on one of her posters, like the very first Halloween poster, Jamie Lee Curtis signed it to Melissa. It was the Boogeyman, or it was a Boogeyman. And so, so we decided that we would use that as our name. And since we're good Judies, we decided to call it the Boogeman Besties. So I'm really, really excited about this. Come follow us on Twitter. We will be making big announcements over there about things that are going to happen. We're going to be doing a live stream soon just to kind of like feed out what we're going to do, but it won't be like official. So we're really excited about that. I will link all the information below. Please go follow us if you're interested in that at all. I'm really, really excited about this new venture. Melissa and I have so many ideas. We have so many ideas for things that we want to do. And we're trying to figure out, like, we want to do the podcast so that you guys can hear it. But obviously, like, you know, but we also want to do it on YouTube as well. So we have a really cool idea for a setup that we're going to do that also references a TV show that we both loved through the years. And we would get together every year and we would watch the Halloween episode specifically of the show. So if you watch my vlog, you probably know what I'm talking about, because every year we get together at Melissa's and she makes chili for everybody on Halloween, and then we watch the Halloween versions of the show. So we kind of want to make, what do you call it, a setup. Is that what you call it? I don't know. We're not professional, you know, but we want it to look a little bit like that. And we have some really cool ideas how to like incorporate horror movies with that as well. So that's coming very, very soon. Our very first podcast, I will let you know well in advance when it's happening. But we kind of have a tentative date in mind. We just don't want to say it and then not be able to get it out at that point. So, all right, so that's the exciting news. Now let's get into the James Charles and Gabbie Hanna drama, okay? Well, the Gabbie Hanna, this is kind of like, just like, let's talk about what's going on with the two of them, right? So, the Gabbie Hanna thing is interesting to me. So, I was on Twitter yesterday, and I noticed that, let me get into my photos. I noticed that Gabbie Hanna had put up this picture. They're actually really, really cute pictures, and she posted this, let's see, happy 7th YouTube anniversary. So, happy anniversary to Gabbie Hanna, who's been on YouTube for 7 years. I didn't realize that Gabbie Hanna had only been on YouTube 2 years longer than me. I thought she had been on YouTube for like, I thought she had been on like at least 10 years. I don't know. But it makes sense because she came from Vine. So anyway, it's pictures of her painting. And she has this, a t-shirt that says drama follows me. I think that's what the t-shirt said. Hold on a second. I have it right here. Anyway, she's been painting, you know, that's what you do. You got to have the jeans that have paint all over them. Do you remember when you were in high school and you check? This is just why, like, listen. Everything about Gabbie Hanna to me is so, like, I don't know, like, it feels very, like, even from, like, the smoking of all, you know, the ganj and everything to all, it just seems very, like, I don't know, high schoolish to me, right? But do you remember, like, when you were in high school? I took a lot of art classes in high school because I'm an artist, see? Did you not know that? Well, can you do that? I don't think so, okay? But anyway, can you do that again? No, I don't think so. But I thought I was an artiste in high school. I did, you know? And even in college, my first year, I took all these drawing classes. I was talking about this with a friend of mine the other day. So I had this big portfolio. You know those like canvas portfolios that you have to carry to art class? I had like this big one. And we would be like walking, because like we had e-parking at where I went to school, and so it'd be the dead of February, you know? And we would be parked way out in the parking lot. We'd have to walk like 2 miles to get to the building, and I'd be like slipping and falling, holding my coffee and my, trying to be the artist of the world, you know? And then the other day, I like found it in my basement. I ended up just throwing them away. I found it, it was like, well, it wasn't the other day, it's been a few months now, but I found this, it was like this drawing of my hand, and I can remember that we had to like draw our hand in that class, and I just couldn't do it, you know? And hey, listen, dream big. If you want to be an artist, be an artist. And, you know, and I think that, you know, any kind of art, whether you like it or not, like I looked at her stuff and I thought, well, her stuff's kind of cute. Like, you know, I mean, I definitely think she's a better painter than she is a poet, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion! And I'm allowed to have it. Oh, shoot, I was going to do my Erica Jane and Sutton video today. Should I do that tomorrow? Getting ready for the Salt Lake City. I think I'm going to start doing videos over here about the Real Housewives, because so many of you yesterday were like, talk about the Real Housewives, talk about the Real Housewives. So I think I'm going to do that starting tomorrow. Tomorrow maybe I'll do my video about Sutton and Erica Jane, and then that will go into, what do you call it, the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and then on Monday maybe I'll give you my feedback on my feedback. Janet Jackson's feedback. Oh, I love Janet Jackson so much. Yo, Janet, I'm about to get this. You want this, but do you really think that you can get this? See, hanging out, this is like hanging out with me. We're just up in the kitchen, and we're just, hey, listen, I'm drinking some Pedialyte with extra electrolytes in it. 'Cause you think I need it? So you... I'm a goofball. I am. I'm such a goofball. But let's just hang out in the kitchen, up in Peter's kitchen, and we'll just, you know, talk about all this stuff. Oh, so anyway, Gabbie Hanna, that's what I was talking about. She's so boring, isn't she? I'm so bored of Gabbie Hanna. I'm like, girl, listen, I was a little bit more excited about you when you were doing some drama, you know? True story. But anyway, so she's painting and she puts this out there. Well, I'm like, when did Gabbie Hanna last release her last episode of her series? Well, I looked, and it's the one on Jessie Smiles, which she still has pinned to her Twitter, because she don't want nobody to forget that video, right? And it was well over a month ago that she has posted her last episode of the series. So I'm like, is the series over? Are you not posting anymore? Are you dragging this out for 3 years? It's just interesting to me, right? That you do this 12-part series, and then you do all this stuff in the middle of painting, and she does these live streams, you guys, that are very, very bizarre. They are. She, like, gets on live stream, and the other day I, like, watched, like, a couple minutes of it, and she was like, yeah, I don't ever come on here and read comments, so I really want to read comments. She literally read comments for, like, 2 seconds, and then she started painting and singing her songs again. I think she, I don't know, she seems lonely, I guess, so she just turns on a live stream and sings to people, but she doesn't pay any attention to them. You know, it's like having a dinner party and then I guess going in the other room and eating a TV dinner and letting your guests just fend for themselves or something. But, you know, like, I do love a good TV dinner, though, you know what I'm saying? A lean cuisine every once in a while is okay. I mean, I wouldn't want a constant diet of it, and I wouldn't want a constant diet of Gabby Hanna painting and singing, and that's just my opinion! So anyway, I'm like, when's she putting the next part of the series out, right? Well, she's still feeding drama out. I hadn't been paying no attention to her. Listen, my Southern roots just came out today. I haven't been paying any attention to her because unless something big happens with Gabby Hanna, who'd care? It's kind of how I feel about it, right? So, and this is the thing that I think has really hurt Gabby, is that so many people really liked Gabby for her stories, no matter how fake they were and made up. You know, and people liked her for, like, I don't know, like, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, like, going back in time to when she reached out to me originally about the whole brush fiasco, and I was like, you know, at that time, because she's always talked about, oh, drama always follows me, I'm always in the middle of drama, blah, blah, blah. Yes, she had some drama at that time, but it was nowhere near what other people had gotten into, you know? And I remember saying to her, Gabby, let this just go, let it pass, and it'll go by, right? Like, address it with your audience, and then let it go. Like, you know, and she couldn't. And now, it's interesting, 2 to 3 years later, to see this person that's absolutely obsessed with drama and having to have drama in their lives, whatever, right? Because if you didn't want that, you wouldn't put out the tweets that she put out. And so I went and looked, and she put this tweet out. Hold on, this is on August 28th, and she put this little thing out. It's like a text message conversation, and it says, having a relationship with a narcissist is like living in a museum of all of their grievances, because no matter how small the mistake or how much time has passed, they won't let you forget how much you wronged them. Now, I don't know if Gabby's talking about herself here or she's talking about everybody, but like, that is literally the definition of Gabby Hanna, right? Like, that's exactly the definition of the series. Like, if you wanted to read a definition of the Gabby Hanna series, like if it was, you know, the Gabby Show, whatever she's titled the series, right? What's this show about? And you go to, like, the bio, and it said, Gabby's relationship, or no, like, showing things of the grievances of the past, no matter how small the mistake or how much time has passed. I mean, that's exactly what it is. So you are the definition of that, Gabby. So that was the first thing that I thought was interesting. The next thing I thought was interesting was she tweeted out on August 30th, my favorite way to end an argument is, I don't care to have is, oh wait, my favorite way to end an argument I don't care to have is, we're just different. And that's exactly what she does, right? Like, she puts these videos out, and then when people literally prove her wrong, like, I was looking the other day, and it was like Joey Graceffa's video that he did in response to her has gotten so many views, you know? And I was like, it's kind of a definitive video proving that Gabby Hanna is an absolute liar. Because if you go watch that video, like, and you go watch it after the claims that she made in her video, Joey proves with factual evidence, that everything that Gabby said was an absolute complete lie, right? So what does she do? She just doesn't respond to it at all. Oh, we're just different. We just don't agree. No, it's not that you don't agree, girl. It's that you lied. Come out and say you lied. Address it. You made a video addressing it. Why won't you make a video addressing that? Well, she only addresses situations where she feels like she's got some game, right? Now that Alex James is coming out and he's defending himself and talking about stuff and with factual evidence, Gabby's not saying anything either, you know? So when Gabby doesn't realize, or when Gabby realizes that she can't win whatever argument she's in, we're just different. We'll agree to disagree. You're right. She doesn't say anything at all. She just moves on and paints and sings songs and things like that, right? Like I've said all along, she's like a bull in a china shop. Okay, so that was that. Then she put this thing out on TikTok, or she showed this thing on TikTok. Oh my gosh. My receipts won't pull up. And the thing is, somebody asked her, the reason why Gabby is acting all of that is because she sold her soul to the devil and now she can't go back, so basically she's living her life. And she responded to it and said, I'm here in hell, I swear it's all the same. So she's just always constantly stirring up the drama and wanting more people to talk about her and all that kind of stuff. All right, girl. Okay. It's going to get to the point where it's like, all of her antics are so boring that nobody cares anymore. By the time that she decides to put out the rest of this series, I don't know. I mean, I'll cover it because, you know, that's what I do over here. But I don't know that anybody will even really care. All right, so then I saw that this article came up on The Insider. It's by Lindsay Dodson. Oh, I do want to say something yesterday, referenced yesterday about the Jordan Cheyenne video that I did over here. I thought it was really interesting because people were commenting on, people were commenting, let me get to it really quick, hold on a second, that Jordan Cheyenne had, like, she's taken down all of her videos, and she's disabled her Instagram and all this kind of stuff, right? Well, I had noticed that she had commented on my video, you guys, literally within like the first 15, 20 minutes that it was up, right? And my first response before even reading the comment was, girl, you're saying that you're staying off of social media to people and that whatever, and I had already, because I had gone to her channel, so I had seen that she had privated everything, and I was like, and here you are watching a drama video, and she was very nice. The comment was like, well, I can only read you the top of it because she deleted it with quickness. And I don't know if that's because people responded to it and she didn't like the responses that she was getting or whatever, but I can only see the beginning of it, and here I will show you, see, like, well, here it shows comment not found, which is where she's deleted it. But if you go underneath here, I'll show you, I'll put it up here. She says at the beginning of the comment, I have deleted everything. And this is where when you go in your creator app on YouTube, people that have, I don't know how many it is, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 or whatever followers on YouTube, their comments come up first for you in like a special section. And she said, I have deleted everything off my channel, Instagram, and then I don't remember what she goes on to say because I didn't screenshot the comment because I thought it would still be up there. But she did say in there, thank you for being fair to me or something like that. I was like, all right, girl, whatever. So anyway, apparently she's deleted everything. So it's interesting to me, like, and then there were a lot of people in the comment sections that were like, this wasn't like the way to handle it. Like, you didn't like the reception you got, so you deleted everything. You're just going to stay off social media now when your entire life is social media. I don't know what the answer is. I do think that she needs to take some time. You know, there were a lot of people that were like, I think she realized what she did wrong. And I'm like, I didn't see that in that video. I didn't see it. She took the apology video down. I'm like, she should have at least left the apology video up. I'm like, I didn't see what, it's been re-uploaded on other channels so you can still go see it. But I'm like, I didn't see in there that she fully understood any part of what had happened. None of it. So anyway, I mean, she's sitting there talking about it was a blooper reel she put back up, and she never apologized to her son, and she was most concerned with apologizing to herself. It was just bizarre. It just was real weird. So anyway, it was somebody that was so ate up with social media they can't see outside of that part of their life, you know? Okay, so then I saw that this article came up on The Insider, and it is by Lindsay Dodgson. I will link this article underneath here. And it says, James Charles has become the most disliked beauty YouTuber, overtaking Jeffree Star according to insider data. Well, you know, this is on the heels of, let me tell you something that I think is kind of interesting. It was about, I don't know, a week and a half ago that I went to James Charles' Instagram. And remember James Charles came out like a year ago and he was complaining about how like Instagram wasn't showing his things anymore. Like Jaclyn Hill, she just complained about this not so long ago too. James Charles did this huge Instagram rant about how his pictures weren't getting the same likes ratioed and all that kind of stuff because Instagram was like working against the algorithm and all. Do you remember this? Okay, I did a video about it because James Charles was very upset that his video or his pictures weren't getting looked at the same way. Well, I went in there and I looked because I wanted to see how his pictures are doing now. I think they're like get like 1 point something million views a picture. But what was interesting to me, okay, in looking at this was I went way back like a year and he was getting the same amount of views, maybe just a little bit more. And what is really interesting about this is when you go back to the 3-year mark before everybody like re-subbed back to James Charles, that's when he was getting like 3 million views a picture and things like that, and people were watching him. They progressively go down over time. I'm not convinced it's the algorithm. I'm just not. Now, I know the algorithm in Instagram is screwed up. I know that, right? But I'm just not convinced it's the algorithm. I mean, I think James Charles needs to really take a look at how his drama in his life has affected, it's not even drama, how the allegations in his life and his lack of willingness to actually and appropriately address those issues or work on himself have really affected his career, you know? And I was like, no, this isn't about Instagram. Because when you look, okay, and you compare it, like picture, because I slid through every picture like over the last 3 years. When you look, it's like literally, you can see they go down in time, right? And it's all around that incident. And they pick up at a certain point and then they go down again. And then he's been kind of stuck there. Well, I've noticed the same thing with the views on the videos, is that he's just not getting the same views that he was getting before. So then this article comes up, and they're stagnant. And the other thing is this that you have to remember, right? That let's say 3 years ago when all this started, okay? That a lot of the James Charles fans, and I'm just going to be fair with the age, let's just say if they were somewhere between 14 to 16, right? Well, many of those people have graduated from high school. They are now in college, or they're working full-time jobs, or some of them are maybe even married and having kids. They're not that interested in James Charles doing some funny look on his face. They just don't care, okay? They're probably, watching other kinds of videos. I don't know, Logan Paul. Or DIYs or something like that, right? And I think that this is one thing, and I've talked about this from the very beginning, is when you are like younger on YouTube and you have a very specific audience per your age, and then they start aging out, like you have to be careful of that. And when you also have a lot of drama that has surrounded you, as people grow up and they grow older, they're not willing to just excuse that away as much anymore. They look at that stuff and they're like, no, I'm not okay with this. And like, you know what? I don't have time for it. And I got chemistry and I got to get to my class because, I'm planning spring break with my friends in my sophomore year of college. So they're not that concerned with what James Charles has done. And I think that's really the reality is, what would have happened, so it happens to, Emma Chamberlain and Tana Mojo and these other people. Well, Emma Chamberlain's probably a better example. As they get older, they still get a younger audience, right? Because the younger audience is still relating to that. But James Charles has been really in nonstop drama for like the last 2.5, 3 years, with the exception of the last couple months. And so I think that like that younger audience is just, they have no interest in James Charles, So anyway, this article was interesting to me. And James Charles has become the most disliked beauty YouTuber, overtaking Jeffree Star according to insider data. Let me get my reading glasses on. You know what? I was just at Costco and I saw this guy and he had these Caddis glasses on, but in green. I love the ones that are like, they're green and orange. And he was wearing them and I said, yes, fan flip for that one. All right. And I said, are those Caddis reading glasses? And he said, yeah. And I said, but did you have like the lenses taken out to have them made into like regular glasses? He was like, oh yeah, I ordered the Caddis reading glasses and then I just had them, ordered them in zero. And then for reading glasses, and I just took them to my optometrist and I had them take out those lenses and put my lenses in. I'm doing that because I love these so much. They're so fantastic. He had real fun ones on. Okay, so let's see. Insiders surveyed 1,105 people to figure out how well 99 influencers are known and liked. Well, interestingly enough, I mean, you go on the street and you ask anybody if they know Shane Dawson or Trisha Paytas or even like PewDiePie or Logan and Jake Paul. Most of them don't. They really don't. I actually, and this is kind of embarrassing to admit because I have no interest in the boxing at all, but I don't know that the boxing for like Jake and Logan Paul was like a bad move. Because I really do think it has helped people that don't watch YouTube to really know who they are. I think like that's a whole outside arena. I was surprised walking around Vegas that when we were just in Las Vegas, there were actually, I put it on my Instagram story, there were like places like bars and these little restaurants and hotels and stuff that you could go in and watch the fight with Jake Paul. And I was like, this is so interesting to me. So a whole new audience is being introduced to them through the boxing, which is just something that they're interested in doing, The data reveals how the public views some of YouTube's biggest stars. James Charles was the least popular beauty influencer with a net favorability rating of negative 50.5. Now, what's interesting about that is, a couple years ago, before this whole situation with Tati and her video and all that, James Charles was we had never seen anything like this on YouTube before. The fastest growing YouTuber. People would talk about, he's going to pass this person and he's going to pass that person on. And it just seemed like he was unstoppable, Beauty guru James Charles has had a rocky couple of years, and it goes in and talks about all this kind of stuff. Charles 22 is YouTube's biggest beauty creator with 24.7 million subscribers. He burst into mainstream fame when he became the first male CoverGirl ambassador in 2016 after a recreation of a senior portrait where he was wearing makeup went viral. Well, it was because he used that ring light mirror or something, right? Okay, so then it goes on and says, but his favorability rating hit an all-time low in Insider's recent poll, which surveyed 1,105 people to see how well 99 influencers are 99 influencers, how can I turn that into bottles of beer on the wall? Anyway, Insider's data showed that of the 17.6% of respondents who said they knew Charles, 6.2% liked him, while 6.7% disliked him. This gives him a 50.5 net favorability rating overall. Okay, so out of 1,105, right? So, I mean, that's not a lot of people, right? Times, what was it? 17. So let's put 0.18. So that's 198 people, okay, it says. Well, so 6.2 liked him while 56.7 disliked him. So, okay, 198. So that's 100 people out of 1,100 people didn't like James Charles. But, I mean, only 200 people knew who he was. So does that mean every other person that knows who James Charles is doesn't like him? But, I mean, maybe those are people that, like, know who James Charles is, but they don't follow him on any kind of beauty influence. I don't know that I think, okay, we'll go on and see what else it says. Charles bounced back following a response video where he told his side of the story. This is talking about Tati. Goes on and talks about all the claims and allegations. Okay. Although Charles has been able to shake off most of the controversies he has faced over his career, his recent period of hot water may stick with him for good. I agree. Morphe announced it would be parting ways with Charles on April 16th, and YouTube temporarily demonetized his video shortly after. Insider's poll also included results for fellow beauty YouTubers Manny MUA, Tati Westbrook, Laura Lee, and Jeffree Star, all of whom came out more popular than Charles. I'd like to know what they received, though. Despite Star being one of the most notorious creators on the internet due to feuds and allegations, he received a negative 41% favorability rating, meaning Charles has overtaken him as the most disliked beauty guru. Interesting. So there you have it. Straight from the poll at Insider. Anyway, that's a lot. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Go check out Donuts and Dragons. Oh my God. Most importantly, go follow our podcast, the Boogeman Besties. I can't wait. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.